A face mask and Zoom recording for a goodbye message? How fitting with the past year and a half we've all lived through, though, isn't it? I just couldn't resist. But isn't it truly amazing just how quickly time flies? It seems like just yesterday that I sent my portfolio information to Denise Devine, the human resources supervisor for the district then, not having any idea where the district was in its superintendent situation back in 2014. A few months later, I was well into my interim year as superintendent. My wife Susan and I had sold our house in Lakewood and we moved into a small rental house on 223rd. I never forgot then board president Joe Schakowsky reminding me, you do know this is an interim position, right? We hit the ground running. We immediately began working to sell and develop the former Coffinberry School property into what is now the beautiful Thomas Lane development. And we put out the district's first annual report to the community that year. After officially being named superintendent in the fall of the 2015-16 school year, we really put the pedal to the metal. Very quickly, our board hired Melanie Whiteman as our Director of Teaching and Learning, and we began realigning our K-12 curriculum with the Ohio Learning Standards, something that was sorely needed. Also that fall, we pulled together the Friends of the Fairview Park City Schools, developed a community facilities task force, held several community forums, conducted countless surveys, and created a facilities master plan, all culminating in the Bond and Permanent Improvement Levy, issue 112, that was passed by the community by 63%. Thanks to all of you who supported that campaign. Our kids, thank you. If you haven't had a chance to see the upgrades and renovations to our schools that you supported, please make it a point to come visit or at least check out some of the pictures on our website. This was also the year when our district leadership team created our student skills profile, often referred to as the Fairview Advantage. These are the 9 skills we strive to have all students develop and document in their electronic portfolios each and every year. Actions like create, investigate, innovate, collaborate, communicate, solve problems, lead, reflect, and serve. From there, we created a broad school and community committee and created the district's first strategic plan. Then we hosted a community screening of the film Most Likely to Succeed, showing the vision of the schools we were working to become. By the end of the 2015-16 school year, we had successfully completed our first round of contract negotiations with our 2 associations, and we were on a roll. However, the next 2 years would be a very bumpy road. Not only were we reconstructing and renovating our school buildings, we were reconstructing and renovating our teaching and learning by incorporating the Summit Learning Management System to our middle school and high school students and expanding our one-to-one electronic device program fully K-12. These new educational delivery and learning style changes were very different and unfamiliar to what many parents and students and some teachers and administrators had experienced previously. They were dramatic shifts and came with a significant learning curve. But this strong focus on personalized project-based learning was something that Fairview Park City Schools had been studying, testing, piloting, and tinkering with since the year 2000. And it was time to truly be who and what we wanted to be. I cannot tell you how proud I am of the teachers, parents, students, administrators, aides, support staff, everyone who dove in to make these evolutionary changes in the way we do school. It would prove to be a saving grace for all of us just a few short years later. At the end of 2018, Amy Hendricks, our treasurer, unexpectedly resigned to become chief financial officer of her hometown of Vermillion. And fortunately, we were able to hire Kim Sperling from the Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio to serve as interim treasurer for the remainder of the 2017-18 school year. So we ended that one with a bit of a bump. But Kim was then selected by the board that summer to continue on as treasurer, and that was a very good thing because she knew all about the critical tax renewal levy we had coming due in November of 2018, issue 5. Again, everyone in the district and the Friends of the Fairview Park City Schools kicked into high gear, and the community showed their support for all we were doing in spite of all the trials and tribulations going on by approving issue 5 by over 70%. I must have said it at least 100 times those next few days following the vote in messages and communications, and I'll say it again. Thank you, Fairview Park. Without taking a break, in early 2019 and during the heaviest construction phase of the entire facilities project, we pulled together another community task force and developed our second iteration of our strategic plan. Fairview High School principal Chris Vicka, meanwhile, worked during this same time with students, alumni, parents, staff, and community members to help bring to life a new mascot for our students that no longer involved the Native American imagery and lent itself to having a full mascot costume to be available for sporting and special events throughout the year. And finally, we closed out the 2018-19 school year with a second round of successful contract negotiations. That was one very, very busy year. The 2019-20 school year was all about wrapping up the facilities master plan. We were progressing on time and on budget, and things were looking great. Then came the unmanageable. I sensed around early January of 2020 from state and regional discussions and news reports that things weren't going well around the world, and I knew we'd better, as I very frequently would say, plan for the worst and pray for the best. Good thing we did. The worst happened, but we were ready. When March 16th, 2020 came and we went remote for the first time, our students had the devices, the learning management systems, communication tools, digital resources, and everything else they needed for the pandemic ahead. We were light years ahead of nearly everyone else. I attribute that to you, our community, for your ongoing financial support and faith in our work. To our teachers and staff for their hard work and commitment to the vision of personalized project-based learning that we had embarked upon so many years ago. To our parents and students coming along with us and making the difficult but necessary and beneficial changes. Everyone else was hit by this pandemic like a tsunami, and some still haven't found their footing. We were on much higher ground and we were ready. Now, I'm not saying it was easy. No way. And I pray it never happens again. But I can't tell you how proud I am of how we all made it through this pandemic. We were all just like the phrases on many of our favorite t-shirts, like Stronger Together and One Warrior Nation, or like those yard signs that first started showing up all around town at the start of the pandemic and still stands in front of the board office and in front of my front yard today that say Fairview Strong. What I think we really need are shirts and signs that say Fairview Proud. Because over the past several years, our staff, our schools and district have received so many awards and recognitions. These have been hard earned and are well deserved. And this community should be darn proud of what our teachers and support staff and administrators and parents and students have accomplished. I know I sure am. And there is nothing I could ever do to say thank you enough for all your efforts to help make it happen over these past 7 years. I've been extremely fortunate to work with amazing Board of Education members while here in Fairview. Being a board member is one of the most time-consuming and thankless public service roles on the planet, and they make it look effortless and easy to the general public. Don't be fooled, everyone. They work their tails off, and we have all been blessed by their leadership, dedication, and commitment to the children of this community throughout the years. Superintendents and treasurers all around us are jealous of the great leadership and teamwork we have here. Again, I say, be thankful and proud, Fairview Park. So now, as I pass the torch and retire at the end of this school year, I am confident that this district is in good hands with Keith Ahern and Rob Showalter at the helm. I know without question, they both have the skill and the ability to take this district to the next level. So Keith, Rob, best of luck to you both. Be good to them at Fairview Park. And thank you for the opportunity to serve the past 7 years as your superintendent of schools.